Hi everyone, welcome. I'm here with my sisters in Christ. I got my girl Ree, I got Kayan, and we are so excited to be here because we've wanted to do this for such a long time, and we finally did it. There's so much that's been happening in our lives personally, and there's so many things that we've discussed together, and we thought it'd be so helpful to share it with you all. There's so many times I've had conversations with both these ladies individually, and I'm like, this needs to be recorded. So I am so happy to finally be sitting here with Ree, Kayan, and myself. I'm nervous. It's our first time, but I know it's going to be really good because God has placed it on our hearts so heavily to do this. And I know that this will be edifying to so many other sisters in Christ. All right. So go ahead. Tell us about yourself, girl.
All right. Well, to start, I want to say we made it out the group chat.
We made it out the group chat. Yes.
We made it out the group chat. But yes, as my sis Teyanna was saying, my name is Ree. I go by Ree. I am an author, podcaster, creator. What else?
Mom.
Pusher. I'm a mom.
Yes.
Whatever I can do, I do. I'm that big sis.
Yes.
So-
Evangelist.
Evangelist.
Come on.
Evangelist. Okay. Yes, I am. But woman of God. I strive to be, a woman of God. And yeah, I create her for her worth. Yes.
Yeah.
Create her for her worth. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
And I'm Can. I'm a woman of God, aspiring to be, deeper in my relationship with God. I'm Can Allen of Intentionally K. I talk about self-growth and spiritual growth, emotional growth, anything to push past your boundaries. I'm that person, trying to stay strategic with our growth in Christ, because we know that God is an intentional God. And so I try to keep my brand intentional and keep my life intentional. So that's about me. Yeah.
Okay. Really quick, I will say you can find her book on
Yes.
Amazon.
Thank you.
Okay. She's an author, Church Hurt.
Yes.
And you can also find Kayan's digital products on Etsy.
On
And I have
Etsy.
both of them, and I will say they're both amazing products. So take a look. We'll talk more about that later. For me, my name is Teyanna. I'm a makeup artist. It's so interesting because I've always put my identity in doing makeup, but I think it's actually so much more than just makeup artistry. I really love people. I love connecting with women especially. I am a mother as well. I do have my own podcast called Beauty from Ashes, and it's just talking about the beauty of the struggle and just glorifying God in every single season that you're in. I've been through a lot. I'm sure a lot of people have, and so I'm really excited to dive in deeper into that. And yeah, that's me, Teyanna. Okay, women of God, but I feel like I'm a fraud sometimes. If I'm being
I feel
honest.
like we all feel
Yeah.
that way sometimes, where like we don't feel like we're living up to the mark. But I think, like the word says, we have to press towards the mark of the high calling. And like we all fall short of the glory of God. That's true. But I think the goal is to be pressing towards that mark, right? Like where we're doing our best and taking those steps to do our best. If you know better, you got to do better, kind of thing.
Right.
So I don't think it's about perfection at this point. I think it's pushing towards perfection, or pushing towards, Christ, being Christ-like. Yeah, so don't be too hard on yourself. We all feel that way sometimes.
I think that's why I took so long to actually come back here, because I wanted to be in a better space to be able to pour into others. But I'm glad that we're at this point. So, yeah.
I agree. And I think one thing we got to remember, just for all of us, it's a day to day. It's a daily walk. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the perfection of just having well-polished life. We have to have, we see on Instagram, everyone has a well-polished life. It's just perfect. And it's like, nah, I just cussed somebody out 2 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? And here I am.
Yeah.
But like, it's the part is getting up again and knowing that God is continuously pruning us.
Yeah.
He's continuously perfecting us.
Yes.
It's a continuous thing. And we just have to really surrender ourselves. Even if we fall short, You know what I mean? His grace is still sufficient, yes, but we're not going to abuse his grace.
Yeah, that's right.
We're still going to acknowledge the slip up, acknowledge the flip up, acknowledge the backslidingness, whatever you want to call it, and just continue on in this walk.
Yeah.
You know, something I like to say is this riding easy, but it's worth it because we have Christ Jesus and because we have fellow sisters. You know what I mean? That we can have accountability towards, that can pull us up if we, you know what I mean? And just help us along our walk, help us along our journey.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I would say like you two have been an inspiration for me to kind of keep pushing and keep moving forward in this walk, because it's not easy, especially when the Lord gives you an assignment.
That part.
Can we talk about an assignment? When the Lord gives you an assignment and you're like, I'm gonna put this down, let me just sweep it under the rug. Like, if I don't look at it, it's not assigned to me, type of thing. But when the Lord gives you an assignment, I thank God that he aligns me with the right people. That's one thing I've been grateful for time and time again, where the Lord doesn't leave me hanging, where he aligns me with the right people who are on that same journey. Our goals might be different,
right,
but our walk is so similar that I don't feel alone in this, And so, I shout out to Jesus, man. Like,
real talk.
I know.
Shout out to Jesus, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met either of you. If it wasn't for sticking close to what God told me to do, I wouldn't have been reaching out to women of God and aligned with the purpose like that. I wouldn't even feel confident enough to be speaking on a podcast, or even be speaking to anyone, because I'm not perfect at all. But like, I don't know, like walking with imperfect people, striving towards what God has called us to do, really like inspires me to go, okay, I can take that step. I can, push forward. I can do the thing. And even if I fall short, I got my sisters with me. I got God, and the Lord is so gracious that he doesn't withdraw our assignment from us.
I love it. I like one thing you said, the fact that if I fall, and a lot of times, a lot of people will hide the fact that they fall, and hide the fact that, I screwed up, hide the fact that, whatever the struggle is, their vices that they went back to. We're not afraid to come to each other and be like, hey, sis, I'm struggling in this area.
Yeah.
And like, we really got each other's back. You know what I mean? We're not judging. We're not being like, we're not having that, the sidebar,
sure?
or we're not like, girl, I'm going to stay away from her because she's this way. Or, we're not cutting each other, but we're still having each other's back. We know when to give each other space, but we know when to step in and be like, all right, let me just lean in more on Kay because something's kind of off. Let me lean in more on Teyanna because something's kind of off. And I'm going to pray you through. You know what I mean? And just those little subtle messages too, just to boost us and continue to encourage us along the journey helps when you have true sisters behind you, having your back along this journey. It makes a major difference.
Huge difference. Like, just to kind of touch on the piece with judgmental, like wanting to have relationships but being afraid to be judged. Like, I think for me, I decided that I became the type of friend that I wanted to have.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Big.
You taught me that.
Really?
Yeah. But that's big. A lot.
Really?
Keep going to
so I decided that I wanted to be the type of friend that I want to have. And the type of friend that I want to have doesn't judge. She isn't gossipy. She can take correction. She can be held accountable. So all these, like, I feel like if you want to have quality relationships, you have to become the type of person that you want to be in relationship with. And that takes work, right? And so I feel like once I decided to do that, I started to attract, and not to make it sound woo-woo, but like the right people who are non-judgmental started to come around me. The right people who were rooted in God, or at least striving to be rooted in God, it started to come around. The people who have purpose and their purpose is tied to God started to come around me. And I feel like it's so important that although we have each other, that you do the work on yourself to be the type of person that would have those types of relationships. And God is so gracious because he'll send people that have more than you, and has more wisdom than you to pour into you. But you can't say, oh, I want people that don't judge me and da 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 da. Yeah, you're judgmental. Yeah, you don't want people that talk about me da da da. Yet you're talking about people behind their back. Like, you can't want a type of relationship from a person that you're not embodying in yourself. Are my thoughts around like, you know, the types of relationships, godly relationships that I've been developing over the past 3 years. God is so good. Like, man, like when you reflect, like, God is so good.
He is.
Yeah.
It's the ownership part too, because a lot of times, you know, we've all had failed friendships or failed relationships, right? And just in general, relationships in general, just tricky, and we all have to put in the effort and in the work. And going back to just sisterhood and friendship, that piece right there, I find that a lot of people don't want to take ownership with their own mistakes and the part they played.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I mean? You guys were good friends for how many length of years or whatever it took, but something happened. But what was your role in that part? What happened? It's not all about them. Yeah, they may have screwed up and did whatever, but what did you do? How about you talk about your part, the part you gossip and talked bad about them and did the mess, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, and so we could fix this. And you can't keep saying, oh, a lot of conversations I hear with a lot of females is, it's hard for me to make friendships. It's hard for me to trust women. It's hard for me to do this. But why is it hard? You know what I mean? How about we take a deeper look within and see what role, maybe what is it in you that's causing you not to have long-lasting friendships or building that, because there's a lot of times they say, I don't trust people. Okay, well, what is it about trust that you struggle with? Let's go there.
Yeah. Yeah, like take ownership. I think for me, getting on this journey started from a place of brokenness, right? So it wasn't even like, oh, I just decided. It wasn't that. Like, it wasn't, you know, a la-di-da. Like, it really was a place of brokenness where everything that I thought was real was not real. And the people that I thought would ride for me did not ride for me. And so I had to take ownership of what was mine. Like, okay, they did that, which is true.
Right.
They did.
Right.
But what was my role in that? And what did I have to take ownership with? And if I, like I said earlier, like, I want the type of friend that's such and such, such and such, such and such. And so I decided to become that person. I think a lot of the times when we struggle with trust in relationships, we've been burned before, but we're not seeing the part where we set ourselves up to be burned. I know that part. It's tough. It's tough. I know it's hard to say. Like, it's one of those, like...
we set ourselves up.
Yeah. Because there are times when, like, people tell you exactly who they are to your face. People tell you exactly who they are.
I was about to start running. Like,
to your
girl.
To your face, right?
But are we paying attention? Or are we just ignoring the fact because, you know,
Or
am I big?
Yeah, is it But yeah, like, people tell you who they are to your face. And you have to make that decision whether you want to have continue having a relationship with that person. That's on you. And if you set boundaries, it's on you to maintain those boundaries. It's on you to accept certain treatment or reject certain treatment. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn that, yeah, they did me dirty or whatever, but there's certain behaviors that I allowed to happen. There's certain things that, like, bothered me and I didn't speak up for myself. And there's certain ways that I was being hurt and I thought, well, me being hurt in this way is a sacrifice to maintain this relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
And as I healed, I realized that I don't have to sacrifice parts of me to be in relationship with people.
Big.
And so in developing trust, I had to get real with myself about, like, what's good for me and what's not good for me.
That part,
and then communicating that well with somebody else, because I can't get mad if I don't communicate my boundaries and they violate the boundaries. I got to communicate my boundaries. And now, once I've communicated my boundaries and then you continuously violated it, then I can't trust you. Then the relationship that we have has to be different. And it's my responsibility to do that. And so I feel like it takes a lot of work, but once you start to, search your inner man, and we say a lot, search me, O God, find if there be any wicked, be real about it. Because the Lord will reveal those wicked ways in you, and they will prop up and crop up, and you have to do something about it, because here it is. You know what I'm saying? And so after doing that type of work, I realized the way, at least for me, the way that I feel broken trust is when my boundaries are violated and I've communicated them to you, and then you decide to violate that. And so I'm just like, okay,
How many chances?
girl?
Just
And that's the part that's for me. I'm still.
It's still a work in progress.
I'm still a work in progress there, because when I say the cutoff game is strong, it's very, very strong.
Okay.
But I know it's not necessarily the healthiest way to go about it.
Okay.
Right. So I'm patient. I'm more patient now with. I'll speak about like a very real situation. There's a person that constantly violates my boundaries, and I've expressed to them time and time again, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, please don't involve me in this thing. And it makes them feel better to have me be a part of it. And I can see that, like, they want me to support
something like that,
them.
I question that, because is it to benefit them?
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is.
So
the relationship isn't reciprocal, right? So they can't see how involving me supports them, but it doesn't necessarily support me emotionally or spiritually. Do you get what I'm saying? And so I have to make the decision, because they can't see it, right? I have to make the decision, what type of relationship do I need to, will I have with this person? And how will I respond when they start to like talk about things out of pocket? I will just not respond. The last time I straight up just went, you're funny. I walked away. Wow. And I felt bad, but like low key.
Did you feel like empowered at the same time though?
Yes. Yeah. Because they never came to me again with that foolishness. And so I'm just like, I felt bad, but it's just like, sometimes you feel bad maintaining your boundaries, but
finish your thought.
Sometimes you feel bad maintaining your boundaries, but you have to stand your ground, otherwise you'll be the one that's compromised. And so doing that and then walking away, I wasn't compromised, and they got the message. Came at me completely different after that.
But sometimes I think you have to do those, so people get it, like really get to see that I'm not playing around. This is the boundary that I have set, and either going to respect it, or we can no longer continue this relationship. It's really going to be, there's nothing. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. And just keep it moving.
100%.
That's it.
And I think with that, like, I don't know, like it's empowering. You brought up the fact that it was it's empowering the way that you now realize your worth, and how like people will rake you over the coals or misuse you, them knowing your worth to some extent, but not letting you know. You get what I'm saying? Ooh. And so they'll use you for what you've got on the inside of you, but not necessarily treat you with the respect that you deserve. And so like noticing those patterns in my life and noticing how I've allowed those patterns have helped me build relationships where I can trust people, and I can say, this person has my back or whatever, or keeps me discerning whether that shifts or not.
Speechless. I'm learning.
I'm
learning. I'm growing, honestly. And I think you're also a person who really does communicate your boundaries well, and then respects others. I don't think I have a friend I can say that respects my boundaries as much as you, or you're always checking in. Honestly. So I'm telling you, I learn a lot from you, and I thank God for your life. And there's been so many times where God has told me to do something, and I'll be fasting and I looking for the answer, and here comes KN saying, I've been looking for you. No. I'm like, whoa, this one, So I thank God for your obedience, and it just shows the importance of having sisters who actually have your back, not that they're perfect, but actually have your back in this walk, because it's hard, and there's times you want to quit, and there's times you want to not do the thing that God has told you to do, really, or put it on pause, and you'll have someone in your ear reminding you why you should continue.
So, yes. So. Okay, just to continue on what you said about just having someone to hold you accountable to when we fall off or veer off of what we're supposed to do, God-given tasks and responsibilities. It's so real, because I am, for myself, I'm part co-owner of Jonah Ministries. And I think I shared that with you.
I'm like, what is this?
Yes.
Jonah Ministries.
Jonah Ministries. Because you know Jonah ran from his assignment. So one of my good friends, shout out to her. Her and I are, CEO, owners of Jonah Ministries because we would run. She's the runner, she's the track star. Yes, we run. But there comes a place and a time where God's like, you have to stop running and you have to face what I've called you to do. Do your assignment. Be obedient. And it's just good to have people around you with like-mindedness. You know what I mean? That will push you even when you don't feel... You just don't feel it, or you're just not feeling motivated or inspirational or whatever it is, but you have people in your ear reminding you of who God called you to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a beautiful thing, even for us to come together to do this. It was just a random thought that out of a conversation Teyanna and I had. And like, we all are 3 podcasters, and it's like, okay, what are we doing with our lives?
Yeah.
Get your life. Like, what are we really doing? So we're like, okay, let's just come together and just figure it out. And it's like, yeah, we made it out the group chat. Here we are, just having an honest conversation. And, we truly give God thanks, glory, and honor because it's not easy. You know what I mean? Balancing just life in general, because life be lifing and over lifing. And then balancing, work or whatever other, just life in general, as we like to speak, and families and anything outside sources and everything else.
Mind.
Right, the mind, and then just finally actually being like, okay, we have to do this. We have to come together. No excuses. But yet something comes up and it's like, okay, something came up. Who cares? I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh, gosh.
And just remaining focused, I think is a major... I know a lot of, especially for those of us that are creative, you know what I mean? God has given us that gift. And we want to make sure that we are using it really for his glory and not... wasting time.
Yeah.
You
or
know
keeping
what I mean?
it buried.
Right.
Yeah, like, don't be that talent burying guy. And, I know that my masters are hard. My master's right here, and I buried it.
But it's easy to bury it. It's easy to start something. Because that's me. I'm guilty of that. Starting well.
Yeah.
And then just...
That sustainability piece. Like, keeping... Yeah, consistency. I think for me, what God is working out in me is building consistency. And sustainability in the thing that he called me to do. You know what I'm saying? There's certain times when... there's certain times when God calls you to pause.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But I would take that pause and just lay down.
Drink some tea and just scratch it.
I know. And low-key quit until somebody comes around and goes, hey, so what's going on with that thing?
It's literally always somebody coming around being like, so I haven't seen this in a while. What's going on?
Somebody literally goes, oh, I haven't seen you post. And I'm like...
So crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody was watching.
No, they
I literally
watch.
had a client tell me that last Saturday. I never met her before. And
Wow.
she's like, hey, I picked you because of your podcast. And she's like, what happened to it?
Oh,
wow.
I was like, okay.
Ain't God funny?
Right? I was like...
God just like, let me slap.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, someone will come and remind you when it's time.
Literally.
To start it back up.
Yeah.
And so, just to kind of speak from the perspective of a person that kind of flows creatively in that way, for me, it's cyclical, right? So I don't know. I haven't quite figured out the balance between moving in creativity and then taking breaks. Like, for me, it's like all or nothing.
Wow.
Like, I just got to do it, get it out. And then I lay down, and that was the end of it. And so, I'm just asking God, moving forward to help me with that sustainability piece or help me to figure out how to rest well that I'm not burnt out by the time I've done the project to now have to pick up where I left off. And, starting and stopping is not sustainable. Like, we have to find a way to keep the ball rolling, in this thing, especially because we're called to do certain things. We're called to speak to people. You're called to evangelize. You're called to speak into the lives of people. And so, I don't know. Like, do y'all have any advice for people who are creative, looking for sustainability?
Only thing I can really think of is really that piece of really spending time with the Lord.
Yeah.
Because he is the one who gives us the ideas. Mm-hmm. He is the one who gives us the instructions. The Bible says for us to seek ye first the kingdom of God. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And how many times are we really, truly seeking God and asking him of his wisdom in this particular area? Asking him, God, when do I continue to go full force, or when do I need to put the brakes for a minute to regroup and just get back to a place so that you are fed? Because as much as we are speaking, it's a lot. We're pouring out. Mm-hmm. And if we're pouring out, we need a refreshing, something to refill us. So, just asking God, taking that time, that pause to, Selah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And just really spending time in the Lord. And I think that has been one major thing for me is, there's a point where everything on For Her Worth was just like daily posts, daily this, daily that was just flowing. Then it just went downhill. It's like, okay, what happened? It's like, okay, you're not really seeking God as much. You know what I mean? To that point where I can have my ear really to the throne room and hearing what he wants me to say, to speak to women or to encourage the women. You know what I mean? So I think that's a major piece, is really spending time in his presence and just sitting in silence, reading, seeking, and asking for his divine instruction to really lead you, guide you, and direct you, as the Word of God says. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. One of the things that helped me when I was on the ball is just quiet time. I know, and quiet time just means like meditation in the form of like I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting and allowing the thoughts to wash through me, just like, pass through, not being judgmental about any of it, just taking quiet time. And recently I haven't had any of that, and that that's been stunting my creativity. I can say it for sure. So I gotta get back to that.
Prioritize that.
Yeah.
Why not though? Why haven't you been able to have that
my
time?
environment is really loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah, my environment is really loud. And so I have to take extra steps to find that quiet time. For sure. I haven't even hiked.
Really?
I haven't even hiked.
We gotta plan that, because I want to go hiking with you.
So many times. Can you imagine me?
You?
Right. Because of her. Yeah, I go hiking.
I evangelized and walked away from the ministry. That's
what Girl, you better get back on that.
Get back on the hiking ministry. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But I haven't hiked, and that has been one of the things that kind of like resets me. And man, this is it's really putting the accountability back in place, where it needs to go, and what I need to prioritize. Like sometimes, like in becoming creative, like I feel like point A has to go to point B, but sometimes sometimes it goes in a circle and comes back around. Like sometimes you gotta go outside.
Yeah.
Literally.
Walk outside in nature, and then you come back and you're full of ideas. Yeah. I haven't done that all summer.
Really?
Yeah.
And you love going in the summer too?
I love going outside in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when?
Well, it's looking like end of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll check back in September.
Yeah.
September 1st is Sunday. I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do a faraway hike.
Yeah. Come to my place.
You've got a place?
Yeah.
She has a place. She's been going. You didn't hear her?
Okay.
She has her own spot.
I went with Charlie once. That's my daughter. I went with a client.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I go.
She's a hiker.
You're a hiker.
Outside. That's it.
You've been outside.
She's an official hiker.
No, I love it.
Stop this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm shocked.
I know, because I was like, remember how I looked when I went hiking?
Girl, your shoes were not, you weren't prepared.
What were you wearing? Please tell me.
I don't know. Like, I don't think I had like proper socks on. No. It was cold.
And it was winter.
It was winter. I was wearing sneakers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
with no socks.
With no socks. Girl, like we're keeping it real.
No, but for real, like, and now you're like full on.
I know. I mean, I don't really wear the proper gear now, but we're still out there.
Yeah, you're outside.
The fact is, you're a hiker.
I know.
You could say that you were an official.
Like by the water.
Okay.
New trails.
What?
And birds.
What?
Okay.
One with nature.
I know. I love it though, and I'm grateful for that. Because I wouldn't have done it if you didn't tell me. If you're like, let's go. No.
Yeah.
So now that you've done that, how do you feel?
Honestly, I just feel grateful. Yeah. I don't necessarily, I think that helps you a lot with your creativity and your process. For me, it just helps me to be calm and still for a moment and relax and be grateful.
I like that.
And just really take in our Lord, like the water.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I love being by water too.
Yeah.
Just
you created this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. You walk by things like, you created this. And you talk to me. And you love me. It's like, whoa. I don't know. It's that kind of refreshing moment. But for me, in terms of staying creative and focused, it definitely comes from spending time with the Lord. And I find what happens, and it's a really bad cycle that I'm in, is like my downtime, I'll spend a lot of time with the Lord, like all day, because I work for myself completely, all day. And then, you know, clients are not really coming in, but that's okay because deposits are coming in. But then once the clients are coming in, I'm book busy. The time with the Lord is literally not top priority. And then I feel very depleted. And then also I feel that I'm not representing the Lord as much as I should, or I'm not knowing the direction I should go in because I'm not spending the time with God daily. Like, I need it every single day, first thing in the morning. And some of these clients, they want me to be there for 3 a.m. You know, I'm there. So,
wow.
But I literally,
Stop.
Like, is there a bug?
No.
Yeah. So, some of the clients are so early, and I think I need to set boundaries and be like, I can't take this because it's gonna interfere with my direction as to where I'm going, and I'm not gonna be as effective for my ministry. Because at the end of the day, it's really not about just makeup. It's about hearing from, like I've said this before, it's about hearing from the God, and sometimes he'll tell me to say something, or sometimes it's just about being quiet and just giving them a beautiful look. Like, it's not always something, you know, deep, exactly. Okay. But the fact that I'm not being poured into in the morning and I'm going out, that needs to be changed. So seek the kingdom first is like
major.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the only boundary I really need to set in place for myself, because I'm not doing that. Yeah, and I let everything else come into the factor. Oh, can you watch my child? And I know if I watch a child, I'm gonna be up late. I'm not gonna be able to wake up in the morning. So yeah, people don't get it, but I really need to be firm. And I think the hardest thing for me is people pleasing and feeling guilty because that person helps me all the time, or that person did this, or whatever the case may be. But just being firm as to what I can and cannot do. Yeah.
Let your yes be yes and your no be no.
I know.
And I used to be a major people pleaser, and that came from issues I had with my mother growing up because of her always wanting certain things of, you know, perfection or whatever. And it's like, okay, I want to make sure I'm doing these things to make her happy, to make her, you know what I mean? That, let's say I got a 90 on a test, want the other 10.
Right. Oh.
And it's like, but I got the highest mark in class, Mom. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think it's just the West Indian thing, and I know other cultures can relate, but it was just one of those things that where that stemmed from. But now, girl, if you don't like it, bite it. I'm in a business.
Wow.
like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but for real. Like,
how do you get to that point though? Like, how do you get there?
You have to be firm within yourself. And again, setting those boundaries that Kay spoke about. You know what I mean? And just having that place, come to us like a place in yourself, knowing that I don't care what people say. People are always going to have an opinion, and people are always going to say this, people are going to say that. But if it's not making me happy, you know what I mean? And this is where we have to be a little bit selfish. And I say self-care is not selfish. Because if you're always pouring out, doing for other people, yes, they may have helped you. Yes, they were there for you. Yes. But why do you always have to constantly break your back, break your neck? You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, you are feeling depleted, drained, tired, angry, upset. Sometimes doing the task for the other person, you're cussing while you're doing that. You know what I mean? You're not truly doing it joyfully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's when you have to take a step back and look at it. Like, am I really happy here? And you have to just say no. Like, it's okay to say no. And once you have that first no, it's empowering.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It's empowering.
Yeah.
And liberating.
It is.
Because, and also, it, like I said earlier, like, it shows people how to treat you. So they know, like, especially with the things that they know it violates your boundaries. Like, one of the things that used to bug me is being parentified. I'm the eldest of my siblings. And there's certain things that were expected of me that's like, I'm not this person's mom, man. And I'm doing it, but I feel so mad on the inside doing it. And so if we want to talk about service, because, you know, service to others is good.
It is.
But if you're doing it from a place of, like, bitterness, like, you're just canceling out your blessing.
You
like,
really are.
Who's benefiting from that? And so, for me, it's been really liberating to just be able to just say, no, I'm not available to do that. But you might not be available now, but you're available at another time.
Right.
You can offer when you're available. It's not about rejecting the other person or, you know, not being grateful. You can show gratitude without breaking your back.
Yeah.
You can't pour from a dry place either.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, the piece for me though is doing that meditation, taking that time, that mindfulness, that helps me a lot. If I don't do that, I can't speak into anybody's life. I can't really, you know, do what I need to do.
Yes.
If I'm not spending time with God, then I can't really be speaking from any kind of real place.
Yeah.
Real talk.
For real. I can't really be doing what I need to do if I don't fill my cup first. And then I can pour out, and I'll pour out well to you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, the quality of me that you get is better when I'm not pouring from a dry place. In order for me to do that, there are times when I have to say no. There are times when I have to say, you know what? I can't do this time. Let me do another time.
Yeah.
There has to be times where I'm like, this particular thing doesn't really work for me where I'm at right now.
I tried that once.
Did it hurt?
It was awkward, and then they pushed it, and I just didn't respond because I'm not confrontational. Yeah, so love you, family, for watching. I know you're gonna watch.
Yeah.
I tried, because I was like, I really shouldn't take this. I have work in the morning. It's really early, like 5 in the morning, and they wanted to go out. And I said, okay, fine, just come back by this time. They're like, okay, can we just come back 30 minutes later? And I was like, I was like, I should have just said no.
You should.
I should have said no, like, period, from the beginning. And then I didn't respond, but they came back on time, like
That's
the
good.
9. So
That's
I
good.
guess that they heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with setting boundaries though, like, you're gonna encounter a lot of awkward moments like that.
For sure.
Where two on I make four, and I said what I said, and I don't. There's this conversation has ended, and you don't have to be confrontational. No, but for real, you don't have to be confrontational. But there's sometimes I'm telling you, in my life, I deal with very difficult people, so that's why I am the way that I am, and I'm grateful for dealing with difficult people.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for them, I would be a doormat. People walk all over me, and I'd be vexed and angry on the inside and whatever. But, that piece there where you said what you said, our eyes making for.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do now?
Again, who knows that cake can't bite it? Yes.
Yeah, that's what the boundary is. Well, I'm not able to do this. I can do that. You want me to do this? I'm sorry. It's not gonna work for me. And you got the and to sound grateful, da 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 da. Well, you think you're better than people? Da, da.
Yeah.
Take your cussing, take your lips.
Yeah.
No, I'm being so serious.
No, seriously.
Sometimes you gotta just take the lips
and
hold your boundaries, hold firm, because it will never come to you with that foolishness again. Take your licks for the couple times.
Yes.
And they don't come to you with that again. They don't ask you out of pocket things. You do. They understand that this is what it is, and they keep it pushing. After they make their noise, and you just keep it pushing. Girl, difficult people really grow you.
That is so true.
Yeah. Difficult people really mature you. And there are times when, like I said, I don't even consider myself a confrontational person, but I consider myself, well, now I'm learning that I'm a straightforward person. So once I've said what I've said.
I said what I said.
It's on you.
It's on you. This is what it is. And it's not that I'm not kind with my time or, you know what I'm saying? It's not like that I'm not looking out for you or whatever. Yeah. It's just I'm not going to allow you to drain me, walk away being full and not caring about me because it's not reciprocal. A lot of the times in the relationships that you have to set these like firm boundaries with, they're non-reciprocal relationships. Yeah. And for whatever reason, you can't, distance yourself from them physically, but you have to discern the types of relationships that you maintain and the types of relationships that you have in your life. Yeah. And move accordingly.
The draining piece is heavy.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of people that will see you as, okay, this person, I know I could call her. I know I can depend on her, right? And it's like, don't replace me. I'm not God. And God dealt with me heavily with that. He dealt with me seriously with that on, people having almost like a God complex. Knowing that instead of going to God directly, you're coming to me for me to pray for you, for me to come in agreement, for me to do this, for me to do that. And it's like, no. You need to stop doing that and direct them back to God. You know what I mean? And when I say that lash, so... when it comes to setting boundaries again, going back to that and being firm, be firm and don't feel bad because some people will manipulate too.
Absolutely.
People will, try to do a fake phone call or fake this. Face. Yeah, those all kind of games. Play you like a CD player. Okay, like I know I'm old school, but like, nah. But we have to remember, you know what I mean? Again, you are not God. I can only do so much. And just speaking to your mom, I'm a mom. And I know a lot of times when I'm always would pour out to other people, like, what do I have for my child? Yeah. And that's not fair. Because that's one of my responsibilities, something God gave me. You know what I mean? Yeah. That I have to make sure I steward that well. So if we're constantly giving to others, pouring onto others, how are we stewarding what God given unto us? You know what I mean? It's at the end of the day, I always tell people, when we see God, when we face God, He's gonna ask you what you did with your time, not how you helped so and so or how this and this and that. No. I gave you an assignment. I gave you this to do, but you're yet busy helping this person all the time, constantly. And sometimes you're interfering with what I'm doing with that person. We're forgetting about that part. Sometimes we interfere with what God's doing in a person's life that, you know what I mean? We're so quick to jump in and want to help because we're empaths or we're empathetic. You know what I mean? We're all these things that we're forgetting that God is like, no, I'm doing a work here. Sit your tail down over that.
For real. Sometimes like an act of love is allowing that person to drop and face plant. Eat dirt. Look, I'm telling you, sometimes the act of love is allowing that person to eat dirt, and then you lovingly walk over and be like, well, that was uncomfortable. And, empathize with their experience. Right. And be there for them, but don't be like, oh, no, you can't go there, you can't go there. Sometimes being a loving person in somebody's life is allowing them to make that mistake, learn from that mistake, and just be that non-judgmental. Like, I'm left or right, I'm not going to judge you for making a mistake, but I'm not going to be like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. That person will never develop into a strong human being. They won't. And they won't learn their own strength. You do them a disservice by showing up, trying to be helpful. And sometimes
you're always showing up for them. You're always giving an answer. You're always there for them. Yeah. You're dependent. They're dependent on you. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're a grown woman. You're a grown man. You're a grown whatever.
Yourself. Yeah. You have the capacity to think for yourself. You have the capacity to grow and evolve. Yeah. I would like to see that happen.
Yes, and
for
you have it in you. Like, exactly. Remind them. Sometimes you have to remind a person, hey, you've overcome X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You're this person.
Yeah.
So what's the difference now? And
yeah,
you know,
yeah, get up. You got the strength. You got the strength. Get up. One of the things that I was gonna say about like just allowing people to make that mistake and then be that non-judgmental force or non-judgmental support in their life is that man, I lost the point. Oh, sometimes we're helpful because it's an ego thing. Like, you want to be known as a person that's helpful.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone through that phase?
Yeah.
I've gone through that phase.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, she's so helpful and she's so great and da-da-da. And you can be like,
It
yes,
builds,
I'm so
it
helpful.
boosts
I'm
you.
such a good girl.
Yeah. You're that girl. You're that go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I told you. God dealt with me.
Yeah.
The God complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
They're tight. Like, you got to be a good steward with your energy and good steward with your gifts. And you can't be, you can't say that you love and not be able to discern when that person, what type of help that person needs.
That's big. Good. What type of help that person needs.
That's big.
Yeah, man. I can say, trust me, I've had a friendship that God told me she's not your friend. And this person kept on calling me for different things. And I felt like, they want this. And I feel like I should because it's a Christian thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And it's the point where people who don't even know each other, clients, people from a different, are telling me she's not your friend. They don't even know each other.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, still trying because they still need help or they'll still ask me for help or whatever. Yeah, that person and I and their walk with God, I'm like, God, I'm sorry. Like you said, he is doing something. And I think for whatever reason, I was not meant to interfere with that. And so you kind of have that,
you gotta discern whether you're helping or hurting a person by.
You feel like you are, but in the moment, like you feel like you are because you're grateful and like you see the fruits momentarily, but afterwards you're just like, okay, at the end of it all, and what's so funny? Even I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want the person to be offended, but like even my family members could see through it from the very beginning, and I was like, no.
Trust your family when
I know, especially So, anyways, it's just a reminder. So I'm listening. I'm over here like.
Sorry. Oh my gosh.
No, we would cut that.
Yes. No, for real.
Yeah.
No, but I can relate to what you're saying there. I had a friend that I had to just end our friendship because of the same situation that kept coming to me for advice or just encouragement, whatever, support, etc. But it got to a point where, again, we're grown people. Certain mistakes I think we should not be making as a grown person. You know what I mean? And we have to recognize certain cycles in our life, certain patterns in our life that keep happening.
That piece.
And then if you are still allowing certain individuals to come into your life to mess up your life and you have another factor, let's say a child, you have to look at your situation and be like, okay, I have to take care of myself and my child and put those two pieces first. And now allow an outside source to come in and interfere and mess up and wreck your business, your job, your home situation, whatever it is. So case in point, this one individual that I had to cut off, they would come to me and talk about, their situation. Obviously, as a friend, you will sympathize with them. You'll be there, be that shoulder, etc., etc. You'll give your advice. Tell them, maybe just focus on yourself. Maybe just do this. But I don't want to circle back and have that same conversation with you a month from now with the same situation, another month away with the same situation, or 2 weeks away with the same situation. That means you're not listening and you're choosing to be in that position because you like it.
Yeah.
So
at this point, it's a choice.
Right. So at this point, I'm going to do myself a favor and back up. Because there's only so much I'm going to do, and you're not going to keep calling me and draining me out now. Because that's the only reason why you're calling me is because you want me to pat you in the back and pacify you. I'm not doing that at my big 40 age.
Ooh, that piece there where you're in relationships where people want you to pacify them instead of speak life to them. And again, it has nothing to do with kindness, like lack of kindness or anything like that. Like sometimes the kind thing to do is say, we had the same conversation a month ago. We had the same conversation 2 months ago. My girl, what are you doing differently this time? And again, like, call for me, what I do for myself and so I do for others is calm myself to a place of self-reflection. Like, what's the pattern for me? Dating, I was dating the same guy in different fonts. They look different, completely different from it. Same man in different fonts, and I had to like take a pause and reevaluate what it is about me that was attracting this type of person, what it is about me that I was allowing this type of person to be in my life. You know what I'm saying? So there are times when you had to just pause. You have to pause and take responsibility.
A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't want to take that pause and self-reflect. Why does this thing keep happening? What is my role actually? You know what I mean? Just sit down and be like, yo, I'm kind of messed up a little bit. You know, we all have our issues, but a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to sit down and take ownership of their life. It's not every time we can point the finger and blame. No, sometimes we are the reason why we are struggling. You like see it since over that, so like, who, me? Me not do nothing to you.
Yeah.
Or you put yourself in that situation. You know what I mean? It's you.
Yeah.
I didn't send you over there, so.
That's right.
I was trying to get you over there, but you decided I'm gonna. You know what I mean? So like,
it's hard work.
People don't want to.
It's hard work, but like I said earlier, it's hard work.
It is.
And a lot of the times to do the hard work, you have to be broken. I didn't take up myself, like I said, I did not take up myself and decide to do this thing. I didn't take up myself and decide to heal.
Yeah.
I was broken. I was at a place where up was not up and down was sideways, and everybody was playing games with me. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to really, it was like a radical shift in myself and a radical shift in my environment. And so that's where the work comes from. A lot of times we have to get to that broken place. And I would say for your friend, she hasn't gotten to that broken place yet. No, there's times when you think you hit rock bottom and rock bottom bottoms out, girl.
I know that place because, child, like I know, you know, but some people you see them hit rock bottom, and it's like,
so
even if I direct you and be like, girl, you know, this X, Y, and Z, how about we do this? How about we do that? How about you seek God? How about you, you know what I mean? Give them those pieces for them to work it out. And still, it's like, you really are just.
But that person has to want it for themselves.
And that's the piece a lot of people don't want to get to. A lot of people love their demons. A lot of people love that. Woe is me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, you know, oh, I'm going through this struggle. And it's like, oh my God, girl, you're going through that? Or he's a jerk, or he's this. And, you know, X, Y, and Z, they love that. What's the word for it?
The pity party?
Yeah, the pity party. They love it. Because it fuels them in a sense, right?
Yeah. I think with like, to move from that, like, you have to want it for yourself. And you have to hit a broken place. A lot of the times we don't just get up and say, oh, I want a different life, like, inertia really like gets us, and we just, you know, get into the pattern of whatever the situation might be. We're just in this pattern of suffering and pattern of, you know, poor treatment and whatever. You really have to, for me anyway, it was hitting rock bottom and then deciding this is not going to happen to me, and this is not going to happen to anybody else that I know. And I think the part with this is not going to happen to anybody else that I know really fueled me to reach out to you guys. And that's what, you know, like, brought the godly relationships to me. Like, the types of women that I wanted to be around, the types of friends that I wanted to have. Because I'm like, when I was going through, only a remnant of people came around and was like, started to speak life into me. And I'm like, where were you when I was doing foolishness? You could have called me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have just said, hey girl, that's foolishness. I would have loved that.
Yeah.
It would have helped me. It would have helped me. And perhaps I wasn't in a mind state to hear, but at least I wouldn't be able to say nobody said.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't want that for anybody else. And so I wanted to be that person that said. So when, whoever goes through whatever they go through, later on, they can't say that Can didn't say.
That part.
Or they can't say they never heard because they did hear. And you just continue to do. And I think for me, that's being the good friend.
That is.
Absolutely. Those are the friends I appreciate the most, respect the most, love the most. Yeah.
Yeah. Not afraid to call you out on your
Yeah, I love being corrected.
Yes.
I don't know, there's something about it. Yeah,
because
like,
I'm
thank
so
you.
oblivious.
Yeah.
Like there's times when I'm straight up oblivious. Like don't even watch.
We all have.
Like the put together or whatever. Sometimes, girl, I am oblivious to what is happening. I'm completely blind, and I need somebody who's wiser than me to come and be like, "Hey, girl, that is trash.
Yeah,
drop it, let it go." And have it be tough and have me and I'll ball and I'll go freak out.
But I mean, go through that. That's what I say. Like even when we have conversation with our friends, those hard conversations. Yeah, you may not like something that I say, but go cry about it. Then let's go eat after. Like, you know what I mean? Well, you'll be all right.
Yeah,
you'll be all right.
I'll be God too. And after he tells you, yeah, they're right. You're like, okay.
A lot of the times though. God told you, and then they send somebody to confirm it
because God's like you're not get it. So let me try this your way now.
Yeah, and He sent somebody to confirm it, and it's so like sometimes it's not even the nicest. Like
no,
oh my gosh, oh my god, I'm sorry.
Go there, please. Yes,
sometimes
go
when it's
there.
Like, and it's also coming from the wrong person. I'm
oh my goodness,
you're saying this person. I don't.
Sorry.
This person I neither like nor respect is telling me about my life.
It just irks you more. It's like,
yeah, I should have listened to God the first time. Like, has that reached you?
So hard. Like 2 years ago. And it's still, like, feeling it to this day, okay?
Still got flashbacks.
I still feel it. So I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. God told me to do something about something. Didn't listen. And then... Trust me, I heard it back from the person, like you said, the person I did not want to hear from in the worst possible way. I mentioned it to someone in church. Like, God told me to tell you that too. I was like, I wish you told me instead of that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But at the end of the day, God told me first.
Yeah.
He did.
And I didn't think anything of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with that too. The way they said it to me was so rude.
You're still having to heal from the lips.
Still.
The healing.
Just listen the first time.
Straight up.
That's the part. Listen the first time.
Straight up. Because especially with correction, like when that correction makes that boomerang and come around, it's got the velocity of a knockout.
Never forget it.
You never forget it.
Yeah.
You never forget it. At this point now, the thing that you were corrected on, you remember the pain of.
That depende.
Yeah. I don't want such and such to come to me again trying to tell me nothing. I'm being so serious. Yeah. I'm being so serious. Like, no, I need to get it together, God. Because...
So where have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been recouping. Yeah, I haven't been posting a lot. I haven't been sharing as much as I should share. I've just been recouping, like just allowing God to download into me what I need to get done and what my path is. And I can say for sure at this point in time, He got real clear and real honest about what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I'm just, trusting in Him for the strength to continue and to keep that sustainability piece, to keep that, keep going and keep producing and keep pouring out. And then, having, good self-care in that I fill myself up when I need to be filled and not lie all the way down, but just kind of sit down, Don't lie down and
don't get too
stop.
comfortable.
Yeah, don't get too comfortable. Exactly. But just know when to take breaks and recognize the signs of burnout that I experience when I'm creating a lot.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
And what's next?
What's next is to do another episode of this, if y'all.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And just continue to create and post and see, just see where this path takes me.
Just waiting for like the skincare line.
The skincare line from me?
Yes.
Yes, honey.
The skincare routine.
Yes.
From me?
Yes, you know this. I've told you this.
Okay. I've recorded one.
So why have you not posted this?
Because I'm a coward.
Oh my gosh, post it today.
Right?
Like, I'm suffering
And
over here.
both of y'all are due for a posting, by the way.
I mean, where's your book at church? Okay.
Yeah, right. Not us like sniping at each other.
Love.
So this is what accountability looks like, guys. This is how we hold each other accountable. We call each other out, just like that. Yeah.
Straight up. I recorded something.
Okay.
And now that you've called me out, I will post it.
When?
What day is today?
Today's the 6th, August 6th.
What day is it?
Oh, Tuesday.
I'll post it on Friday.
Why Friday?
Because it needs to be edited.
Oh, it's not okay.
Girl,
it's the attitude for me. Like, why Friday?
Why Friday? No, but for real.
I thought it was Friday. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, it needs to be edited.
Okay, Friday.
Kind of
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll post it on
I have
Friday.
to group what I have to do on Friday with you. So now when I'm done that, I'm going to remember to...
check TikTok.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Awesome.
What's up with you, Ree?
Mm-hmm. What is up with me? That's a great question. What's up with me?
Mm-hmm.
Where you been? What you been doing?
Been hiding.
Truthful.
Like, literally, I go through waves of, I'm excited. I have, things were just flowing. Let me post this. Let me post that. Then it goes to like a silence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I went to a place where I was posting. And then it went to just doing Quick Weird Thursdays. And I didn't post the last two. Well, I didn't record anything for this coming Thursday. So it'll be 2 Thursdays that I've missed now. And it's like, I don't want to get into that place of...
Don't lie down.
Right. And get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's just trying to get back into that creative space again. As you mentioned, yes, I do have a book out called Church Hurt. So ever since that, I, just not posting as much or talking about it as much. Yeah, it's out there, but what am I doing about it? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just here with it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think sometimes, too, I scale back a lot.
What do you mean by that?
I don't like, as much as, I have a podcast, I'm on, Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I don't really care for the, some people like the hype, like to be seen, like the whole, ooh. I scale back in the sense of, if I, post something or produce something, okay, that's it. I don't really, some people post, and then, if someone reposts their things or they'll repost it or whatnot, I kind of don't. I don't want to explain it. It's kind of like I don't...
Here's the thing. Can I challenge you?
Sure.
Yeah, you rolled your eyes, but you're like, go ahead. You're going to do it anyway. I think there's like a weird, like a humility piece of like, I want to appear to be humble. And so I don't want to sell myself. But in order to market something and in order for people to buy into the thing that you're selling, that you're sharing, you have to share it, and it's valuable. It's valuable work, girl.
I agree. You have to share it. Yeah.
So I think like you have to buy into your own ideas and buy into your own work. And once you feel like you feel the value of that, then you'll feel more comfortable sharing it with other people. Because I don't have a problem sharing your book with other people. I don't have a problem sharing your podcast with other people. I don't have a problem sharing your quick word with other people, or like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you have to recognize the value that you provide to the community and let the community know about it.
That part.
Let them know about it until they just start spreading it and sharing it. Yeah. Let them know, because what you've been assigned to do, sometimes you have to put the work behind it in saying, the Lord called me to do this thing. Yeah. And so I'm partnering with God and taking that step. And I'm speaking to myself. I'm partnering with God and taking that step. And so you gotta post more. Don't with that fake humble thing.
It is false humility, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Post out there.
Yeah. I gotta do that.
This is so exciting.
Yeah.
What else? What you got going on, girl?
What's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
Getting the book in the church.
Yes.
And
September 1st?
Okay, September 1st.
That's the last deadline.
September 1st is the last deadline.
September 1st for something else.
We said hiking around
Oh,
the
hiking. Yes.
first
we're
week.
gonna hike
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, so okay, I'll have the book in there and
Yeah.
just continuing on because I did launch a page dedicated specifically for the book. But see, I do stuff like that, but I don't talk about it. You know what I mean?
How are we supposed to know about
Right.
it?
I'll just do it, and then it's like, okay, let me hide away.
Hide under a bushel over here.
Oh, that's good though.
So, but yeah, just be more active, and just again I start well,
Same. Yeah.
but like the finishing and continuing is kind of rocky for me.
Yeah,
So I think, for my accountability piece is just really continuing on. You know what I mean? Not stopping, not going and stopping and going and stopping, but really just do the darn thing.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
Yeah. You have a thought. What's your thought?
Huh?
What's your thought?
Okay.
Yes.
I guess my question is, do you have a goal in mind? Like how many times you should be posting? Or how often you should be promoting?
You see, with that, the thing is,
We can work on strategy offline.
yeah, because I'm so tired of the whole you should be posting 3 times a day and this a month and da da da. I get like, I don't know, I think it flusters me because at one point you'll get in a rhythm of it, and after it's like this new thing comes out, we should be doing this for the algorithm. I get, God is our algorithm. I get all of that, but obviously some certain things work, right?
Yeah.
And why not just, try a thing? I am open to all of that. But I think for me, it's like, I'll get into a rhythm and then it's like, ain't nobody got time to do all this, be posting at 5 o'clock every day. Or, I mean, I know we have the programs where we get, preset and all of that, but
we got to work on a strategy.
yeah.
That's tailored towards you.
Yes. And
I
I have
think-
nothing to do with algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think between the three of us, we can figure that out. Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Got this.
What about you, Teyanna?
Yes.
Where have I been? Where have you been? Makeup. I've just been doing makeup. A lot of clients. I'm very grateful. Been very busy. That has been it. Spending time with Charlie for the summer. She is like a different child from me. And so it's really nice. Like she wants to go to the circus. She wants to go to the zoo. She wants to go to a Blue Jays game.
I love it.
All things I never would do. Walking. She loves it. Like,
She's outdoorsy.
yeah. She's outside. She wants to be a vet. I don't like animals. Like all these things. I love that she's her own person.
Yes.
You know, like
I love that.
you see that with her.
Yeah.
So really been spending time with her. Enjoying the summer. We have a lot of things planned. We're going to a cottage. Like, yeah, she's really pushing me out my boundaries and like not boundaries, out my
comfort zone.
Right. And then just really busy with makeup. It's wedding season, so that is slowing down in probably like November, October. And then what's next? Definitely want to continue this with you ladies.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And my own podcast. I want to continue that. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually do a prayer meeting every Sunday at 9 p.m. So I want to just continue doing that. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. The podcast, though, that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Like my personal podcast and then here. And then definitely just making better choices in terms of I thought I would do up again in terms of setting boundaries and how to do that. So yeah, that's it.
Everything takes practice.
Yeah.
It's not easy the first 10, 20 times you do it. But after a while, you're known as the boundary person.
That's true.
Your yay
Very
will
true.
be a yay and your nay will be a nay. They'll
That
get
is
it.
very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And it will just roll off of you like, no, I'm not available. I can't at this point. You know what I mean? It'll just be natural for you, and you'll just feel more confident.
I look forward to it.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, a challenge for all of us. Like we all have podcasts individually,
Yeah.
and
They've been laying down. Mine's been laying down.
Mine's been laying down too. We all been laying down with our own podcast. So we have to set a date when we will get back into our own podcast space. As much as, yes, we're going to come together again. So you'll see us again soon.
See us again.
But, you know, we have to really push what God told us to do for our individual podcasts.
Absolutely.
So what's the name of your podcast?
Beauty from Ashes.
I love it.
Thanks.
What's the name of your podcast?
Speak Your Truth.
Yes.
And yours?
Mine is...
For her word. You're like, girl.
My Life's Journey with 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, but yeah, we just challenge each other for us to really get back on that, because we all have, I think they're all beautiful podcasts that bring a lot of richness, you know what I mean, to individuals, speaking to individual lives, speaking about what we've experienced in life and our own personal journey. So I think it's really important that you know us individually and what we do bring and what we offer. As much as we collectively come together, Teyanna has something beautiful, Kay has something beautiful, and you know, I bring a little something.
Exactly.
But, you know, God has gifted us. He truly has gifted us in that area, in this area of speaking and pouring into others, you know, empowering women, empowering even the men who listen in, empowering those individuals. And we just want to really, you know, do God's work. And that is to him just using our voices and just amplifying our voices for especially a time such as this. So yeah.
So we good to wrap up?
We're good. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching.
Thank
Watching,
you.
listening.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for hanging out with us, and
Yes.
we'll catch you in the next one.
Yes, we'll be back.
Mhm.